All right, I've got a great question today. When cross-examining a doctor at the time of trial in a medical malpractice case, do I want to go ahead and ask the doctor the key, critical question as my very first question in front of the jury? You want to know the answer? Come join me on this walk as I share with you the answer to that question. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. We are here on the French side of St. Martin off of Coralita Beach, and my wife loves to pick seashells, so I have a few minutes to shoot this video and share this great information with you. Okay, so now the question I raised in the title of this video. When now we get to trial in your medical malpractice case, and I'm going to question, cross-examine the doctor whom you have sued as my very first witness, do I want to ask the doctor the key critical question in the whole case? So let's say it's a case where we believe that the doctor operated on the wrong side of the patient's brain. As my very first question, do I want to stand up in front of the jury when the judge says, Mr. Oginski, you may begin questioning the doctor? Do I stand up and say, Dr. Jones, tell us why you operated on the wrong side of the brain? No, that's not the right question. Or how about this one? Dr. Jones, would you agree that operating on the wrong side of the brain would be a departure from good and accepted medical care? Now, I have to tell you something. That is an excellent question. Why? Because ultimately I do want to get an answer from the doctor and I want the jury to know about that. But why is that type of question, even though it's the most critical question in the whole case, why is that not a great question to ask as my very first one, especially during the course of trial? I'll tell you why. When we start a trial, the jury, 6 members of the community, know absolutely nothing about your case. They don't know the allegations. They don't know the details of what this doctor did wrong. They don't know what injuries you suffered because of this doctor's carelessness. During jury selection, when we now select 6 members of the community to sit in judgment on your case, we are not permitted to tell them much in the way of details. We can tell them, listen, this case involves improperly performed surgery, and that's it. And now ask them whether they know any of the people involved in this lawsuit. But that's all we're allowed to disclose to them before we actually start the trial. So again, the jury doesn't know anything that happened or why you were having surgery or how you developed these injuries until the time of trial. Asking a doctor the key question about, doctor, would you agree that performing surgery on the left side of the brain would be inappropriate if you tell the patient you're going to go ahead and perform surgery on this side of the brain, right? We want the answer, and I want the jury to know the answer to that question. But the first question, no, because the jury is at a disadvantage. They don't know the details yet. Now I have to teach the jury and educate them about what this case really is all about. Why did the patient have these problems? What problems did she complain of when she went to the doctor? What did the doctor do as a result of these complaints? What recommendations did he make? What diagnostic and clinical tests did he perform in order to reach the conclusion that this patient needed surgery? So what I'm doing now is asking the doctor leading questions because I have to tell the story to the jury through the doctor's testimony. And I do that by asking him leading questions. Doctor, isn't it true that Mrs. Jones came to see you on January 1st? Yes. And on that day she complained of the following things, true? Yes. And on that day she was accompanied by her husband, right? Yes. And now I'll take him down the path to explain to the jury exactly what she was doing there that day, what problems she had, and now take the doctor through his notes of exactly what went on in this case. At some point when I'm cross-examining this doctor, I most certainly will ask the doctor whether it's good and appropriate care to operate on the wrong side of the brain. And of course he has to say no, it is not appropriate. And I'll go on from there and ask him other hypothetical questions. Doctor, I want you to assume that the patient had the following problems. Would you agree in that instance good medical care required that you do A, B, and C? And again, he has to acknowledge and accept that yes, that's good medical care if our facts are true. So why do I share this information with you? I share it with you just to give you a sense of what really happens in these medical malpractice cases in New York. You know, I realize you're likely watching this video because you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Maybe you also like the scenery too. Well, if your matter did happen in New York and you have not yet started a lawsuit and are thinking of doing so, but still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. Well, that's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.